Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Yurko here. We're continuing on our toy design challenge activity today. We have completed our steps 1 and 2. Now we're going on to, and we've actually completed step 3. We're going on to step 4, where we're going to produce a Gantt chart. You got a lesson on Gantt charts here, and you're like, what the heck is a Gantt chart, Mr. Yurko? Well, when we open this up, check it out. You can see that a Gantt chart is a helpful tool in organizing a project. Okay, it's a chart, as the name implies, and it's made up of horizontal and vertical lines. So you can see here we've got an example Gantt chart, and what makes a Gantt chart is that this is a time versus task bar graph. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this chart right here, and we'll pull that out. So now we can see my time versus task graph. Here's a incomplete chart, but it is framed out for us. So if we're going to be doing a project, okay, and these tasks vary based on the project you're going to do. These are tasks that you can change. For example, if your team has already been together and you don't need to just describe your team norms, we don't need that line right there. We can delete that. We do need a physical model. We're going to be getting peer reviews, full-size prototypes. These are the things that we are going to get. This across the top is the days on a project. Now, we typically, everybody's written a to-do list and everybody's looked at a calendar. Typically, when you look at a calendar to-do list, the stuff is kind of jumbled and all over the place. The calendars go week by week, whereas the Gantt chart works day by day. So I've got the tasks listed on the side, and we've got the days listed across the top. So if our first day on this project is December 1st, and then 2, 12, 3, 12, 4, 12, 5. We may not work on the 6th and 7th, those will be weekends, so 12, 8. And we just finish out our chart as so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's 2 weeks on this chart. Now, if this chart is going to last longer than that, we would just extend that out. All right. What we can see here is that this is, again, these are our tasks. This is our days that we're working on a project, and then we can identify our members on a team and who's going to do what. These might be departments in our programs. So if we have managers or engineers or technicians or other various people working on the project, or like a production department, we might identify which department that is. Or if we even have to outsource something to a company outside of our organization, we might have them out here. So what are we going to do? We're going to identify and define our problem. That's going to happen on our first day. We're going to be brainstorming on that first, second day, and that's going to be an all task. We need to put together a decision matrix maybe. A decision matrix is a chart to help you break out what kind of things you're going to be doing. We might task that to member 1, for example. So we task that to member 1. They're going to probably put that together on day 1 or day 2 or 3. So we'll put that on here, and they might take that 2 days for that. Sketches might be a project for member 2. And if member 2 is going to be working on their sketches, they're going to need that decision matrix and that brainstorming list to be done beforehand. So those sketches might not start coming out till the end of day 3, and they might take a couple of days on that. CAD models, we might have a CAD modeler. Member 3 might be our CAD modeler, and they're going to need those sketches to start CAD modeling from. So those are going to be developed over a period of time, and that might take a while. So we might need to block out a couple of days for that. Justification and explanation of this project, well, that should have been done darn early, and we should all be in on that. So we're going to need to do that over the first 2 days. the Gantt chart, that's this thing we're filling out right now. We definitely want to make sure we're taking care of that in the first couple days. So that might be a management thing that one person does, or maybe everybody does, but we're going to, just for the purpose, we're going to say that's member 2. So that person's going to be knocking that off in the first day. Then we'll get into prototyping, or making our physical models and prototypes. Those physical models and prototypes, those are going to be coming out towards the end of our project. And we might have that assigned to one or two members. So we'll say that that's our member 2 who's taking care of that, and they're going to be knocking that off at the end of this project. And a full-size working prototype is actually part of that physical model in our case, so we're going to put those together. Matter of fact, we're just going to, I'm just going to delete this entire row here because they're one and the same. So let's delete that, delete row. And peer reviews, we should be reviewing each other's product. That's going to be happening. When do we do that? We want to do that towards the end of the project, sometime in the middle. We should actually probably get some peer reviews periodically. So let's go ahead and get those peer reviews. That'll be an all task. So we send people off to get peer reviews on our ideas, maybe at the end of each phase, right? So after we get our sketches, we get some peer reviews. As we're making our CAD models, we get some peer reviews. And of course, while we're making as we're working on the prototype, we get some peer reviews. And there's a Gantt chart. Now, it's a little short. It's only showing 10 days of a project. Projects often can last weeks or months or years. So you would take your time and put one of these things together. But what you can see here is clearly obvious. I've got it's just a task versus time graph. And you can quickly see what day it is and what tasks need to be done. Everything to the left of this graph, if today is the 8th, then everything to the left of this task project should be done. If it's not, we need to update our chart and figure out what we need to do to get back on task. And then everything to the right, we should be looking at to make sure that we are getting our stuff set up and prepared so we can take care of those things. It's a really useful tool. Just about every company that does long-term projects has some form of Gantt charting. They might not call it a Gantt chart, but this project and process has been around for a really long time. And without this kind of planning, you can't complete a large-scale project. So hopefully you found this useful, and as always, keep being awesome.